All right, good morning, everyone. It is 7 a.m. It is after sunrise. I'm Alex Fisher alongside Maddie Jansen.
Yeah, good morning to you. The last full day of winter. I mean, basically the last day of winter since we start so early tomorrow morning with spring.
I should say, so I'm kind of casual down here because coming up at in about an hour or so, we're doing a PSA shoot with a bunch of puppies.
Don't act like that's why you're in jeans, Alex.
No, that's literally the reason why.
Oh, okay.
I'm not joking.
Because you never wear jeans otherwise.
I never wear jeans. No, that is the reason why I decided today I'm going to wear jeans. So
this was an actual cognizant
Well, yeah,
decision.
Because the reason why is because anytime we do, and don't get me wrong, I am not complaining, but anytime we do a PSA for any of our nonprofits that that involves dogs, I get dog hair all over my suit.
Yeah.
And and then afterwards you got to go and get it dry cleaned and stuff, and which is no big deal. But I'm like, I don't know
when that one's coming up. That's Unleash Your Love. When we talk about all the pets, obviously, and the SPCA, and we're trying to get them adopted.
We haven't done the PSA yet, so we haven't
done it yet, so I don't have the date off the top of my head. But we do have another drive going on today. Speaking of drives, by the way, it's happening outside of our station here in downtown Bakersfield at Compassion Corner. It's the Golden Empire Gleaners Food Drive. So we're actually going to head out there and take you with us in about 20 minutes or so and show you our live cut-in this morning. And anything non-perishable, that's what we're looking for today. If you have stuff in your pantry, like maybe you bought a bag of beans. I do this. I'll buy a bag of beans and then find I already had half a bag, and so I don't need. So drop off that non-perishable item. Maybe grab your cans. I like to replenish, and always have certain things on hand. Just grab those and do a grocery trip later. You don't have to have it today, right? So drop those off here, help them replenish their shelves, and it's going to make a big difference.
It's amazing how many thousands of pounds of food they go through every day.
Oh, I know.
Every
so
day.
Many.
Not just every...
How much the need went up. I believe between 2023 and 24, it was astronomical.
They said
how much
that,
it went up.
And they, because I've talked to, for years we've talked about this problem, and they said that, what happened was, especially during the pandemic, it's almost like they saw a shift. The need went up, and, the demand went up, and the donations didn't keep up. And so you kind of saw them start to slip a little bit. And that's hard because you need to have, if the demand is all year long, usually, I think we're all guilty of this, it's on the forefront of our minds during the holiday season because, there's all of these drives. We're in that season of giving. We want to make sure that our neighbors have a nice holiday meal. We want to make sure that they're fed during the holiday season through, especially from Thanksgiving through the New Year. And then we forget about it. And the problem is that the need is just, we talk about it a lot during that time of year, but it continues even in the summer months, even during the winter months, and all around the calendar. And so that's why we're doing this now, is to just help them help stock things up a little bit.
Yeah, so we're going to take you out there with us. I don't know, can we take the roof camera and show you what it looks like outside?
Yeah, let's see if our directors have a source. They might be powered down right now, but we'll we'll go out there in a few minutes. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and just take a picture and just see what we can see. Even if
what's going on?
I don't know. Yeah. Okay. So you see, so there on the left hand of the screen, you can see just some ideas, right? So boxes of cereals. We're talking non-perishable food items.
Yes, they don't have the refrigerator truck out there today. Yeah. This is a non-perishable food drive.
And remember, this is not. We have so many different types of drives out at Compassion Corner. This is not a luncheon. This is not something that we're going to be out there for just a couple hours. We're going to be out there for pretty much most of the day. Until 6 p.m. tonight. So you've got plenty of time to come on down and really think about it. Really think about what you have in your cupboards right now. Or if you were afforded the option to go to the store and pick up a few things.
Yeah.
That is great as well. But every little bit helps because it's going to a lot of families who struggle with hunger in Kern County every single day.
Yeah, so stop by and see us sometime today, and we'll head out there in just a little bit.
So yeah, there's the details on your screen right there, 2120 L Street. That's just right outside. If you know where our studio, of course, right here in the heart of downtown Bakersfield, that lot that we call Compassion Corner, that's right next door. That's where we have a lot of our luncheons, our barbecues, and so forth. That's where everything is. That's where we're at right now. So swing on by, come on down. We'll be out there until 6 p.m. I got to talk to you about, of course, the thing that the last couple of days that I've been. What's wrong with what's going on?
I'm trying to do this quietly.
Oh. Well, you're like looking at me like, are just readjusting your
my
mic?
mics and my packs here. There you go. I can't sit in this chair otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better.
Much better.
Oh, so much better.
So the last 2 days we've, I will say I have been lucky enough to watch the Dodgers play in Tokyo. That's
in the morning during sunrise.
There's not too many pros about being on this shift.
Let's just be honest.
There's not a lot of pros at waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
There are. That's not true. There are a lot of pros. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of mornings where you're like really focused on how great it is to wake up at 3 in the morning.
I mean, my alarm's been going off today and yesterday at 3 a.m. and I turned the TV on and I'm not even joking.
Probably makes waking up a little easier.
It makes it a lot easier. I mean, there's nothing better for me than waking up, and I kid you not, it was like the timing was impeccable. Turn on the TV, and the sports announcer says, and it's time for Dodger baseball.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we walk in, and you're like, Shohei was up to bat. You're like, yeah, he's not been doing that
Actually,
great
this was crazy. And exactly, I walk in, I was like, he's just been a little cold, and of course we know that he goes through ups and downs. Every baseball player, every sports athlete goes through these ups and downs. But the timing of it was crazy because I walk in, I'm like, yeah, Shohei just isn't, he's just been a little cold. And you were like, just give him a chance.
Well, I was just like, well, he hit a home run on Saturday. I know that because Eli, my son, was up watching. That was not part of this series, though. You pointed out, you're like, well, that was...
It was just like a scrimmage. It was not part of the season. Yeah.
This is against the Cubs. Well, I mean, this is only the second game against them. So yesterday, I guess. You mean that one day, yesterday, he wasn't doing so hot. And then Shohei comes up to bat, and what does he do?
I mean, just hammers it.
Hits a home run.
Hammers it.
But we were watching it, and we were like, oh, was it a home run? Was it not?
There was the possibility of, there was fan interference. Mm-hmm. So what they do is if there's fan interference, they have to look at where was the ball going, right? Because
if that fan had
because a fan can, hit the ball back, and there's so many different things. And so, well, if you think about it as a fan, now look, be very clear. There's a lot of fan interference that you see, and it's like that's not cool.
Right, like the one in the World Series.
A couple times during the World Series. That's probably one of the most infamous ones that I can think of. But every once in a while you get fan interference, and then you're just like, oh man, you can see them kind of going like, oh, why did I do that? Mm-hmm. You get caught up in the moment.
Sure,
and you got the adrenaline going.
Especially like Shohei just hit a ball towards you. It looks like it's going out, and you're like about to, and then you reach forward instead.
Yeah, it's almost like your natural instinct, right? Yeah. Like your natural instinct is not to go, oh, it's in play. Ah! It's to get it. But so there was a little bit. I mean, we're very little in fan interference, but they just, they decided after looking at it that the ball would have gone over the trajectory of the ball, would have gone over the fence, meaning that if the fans were not there, it would have been an automatic home run, but it went back onto the field. You feeling a little tired? You can have a sip of coffee if you want. So that's what happened.
You know what? Another interesting thing, and I at least find this interesting. I don't know if anyone else does. You were telling me about because we were watching, and of course, when you're watching on TV, they put the box for like the strikeout zone to show the strikeout zone. But that's just, obviously, there's no real box there. But the umpire is just calling it. Like, was that a strike? Was it a ball? And I asked, like, if it's on the line, what is that called? And I guess it's just up to the ump. They don't see the line. They're just calling, was that, in the strike zone or not? And it's their decision. But you said they're actually talking about the possibility of going to AI. Okay. So, it's not like it's AI. I don't know what it's called. It's automated. Yeah. So it's because they've got, so many cameras. I want to say they actually have like a few dozen cameras that are zoned in on home plate to create the box, right? But again, it's up to the ump. I mean, that's why you have an umpire, to make those calls. And, they do a pretty good job at calling it correctly. However, it's just the part of the game where sometimes it's called incorrectly. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's human error, right? But also, my question is, the strikeout zone's different for every batter, right? Because they're different heights.
No.
So doesn't the height matter?
No.
If I get up there and bat, my strikeout zone is not going to be the same as Shohei Ohtani, who's 6'4".
No, the strikeout zone is set. It's in. Yes, it is set.
It is.
Yes, it's
like
set
a certain
for,
number of feet or inches off the ground, and it's only
set.
this many
well,
inches.
I mean, think about it. Even like with pitchers, pitchers are high or low. I mean, you can't just so.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting.
So, anyways, but the strikeout zone, you know, when a baseball when a pitcher's throwing the ball, the strikeout zone, it's got the ball, any part of the ball has to just touch the strikeout zone for it to be a strike, right? It's not the whole it's 50% in, 50. No. If a little bit of it is touching it, it's considered a strike. If it's not, then it's a ball, right?
What about the Savannah Bananas and their tallest batter in the world?
I don't know how that works, honestly. I mean, here's the thing with the Savannah.
Can you tell we've been watching a lot of baseball in my
Savannah
house
Bananas.
lately?
Well, they're entertaining. I got to tell you, there are many teams in the MLB right now that have cheaper tickets than the Savannah Bananas.
Are you serious?
Well, yeah, because I mean the Savannah Bananas are just bananas. And they just, I mean,
it's like the Harlem Globetrotters for baseball, if you don't know what the Savannah Bananas are. So they're hilarious. My kids get such a kick out of watching them. And they are coming to Anaheim pretty soon, I heard.
Yes.
I don't know when, but that would be so much fun to go see. That would be a lot of fun.
Okay, so I'm actually just getting word, by the way. Apparently the strikeout zone does change.
For each batter?
Depending on the batter height.
Thank you.
So I didn't know that.
That makes sense because
you're right.
A 5'8" batter is going to have a different strikeout zone than what's his name, Judge, who's like what?
Yeah,
I don't know, 6'7".
You put Aaron Judge next to Mookie
Betts, right? I mean, they can't have the same strikeout zone.
Okay, I'm
so that's why
now.
I think that you need a person there to decide. And sure, like it's going to be human error, but I think that the umps are part of the game in that respect.
Oh yeah, it does changing.
Versus going to automation, like no, here's the strikeout zone. That's just an automated call. Like I don't like taking the human aspect out of the game and that umpire out of the game.
So the strikeout zone changes. I actually did not know this. I also feel like I should have known this too. But the top of the strike zone is at the midpoint between the batter's shoulders and the top of their uniform pants. And then the bottom is just a point just below the kneecap.
Interesting.
Right.
So it can be bigger or shorter depending on that batter then.
Well, it's just going to go either up or down, right?
I mean, unless they have a longer torso. Right? You know, like everyone's proportions are different. Midway between your shoulder and your pants.
Oh, well, I guess you're right. So, and then the width of the strike zone is
something new
determined
every
by the
day.
edges of the home plate. I knew that. I mean,
The
that
width is
obviously
determined by home plate. Okay.
the width doesn't change because again, it's based on home plate, right? I knew that, but I didn't know that the actual
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's
So
really
yeah,
interesting.
and then of course, I mean, and I knew this obviously. The umpire, it's up to the umpire's discretion. They're the one
like that.
interpreting the strike zone,
And it should be.
Which it is really interesting if you see, if you take like all of the collective pitches right in a game, you will and you'll see the balls and strikes. You will see the umpires. If you take a box, right, of like this is what the strike zone should look like, you will see if this. Okay, so like if this is the strike zone, right, you will see at the end of the game they'll have like statisticians planted, and they will create the strike zone. Sometimes it will look like this. Other times you will see it extend out here,
like he
and
called
it
it
just
out here.
looks like it's like the strike zone kind of goes like this.
Okay.
So it really is. It really is interesting. But so when I was out at spring training, they tried this
Really?
the artificial
Automation?
intelligence, automated strike zone, and I think that's what it's called. It's the automated strike zone. But what happens is they're trying this out where a batter, a catcher, or a pitcher can challenge a call, but you only get 2 opportunities to do that.
Okay.
If you're wrong
Per game.
If you're wrong twice, you can't challenge anymore.
But if you're right twice, you can keep challenging.
You can keep challenging, right? Because I mean that makes sense, right? If you're challenging something, I think this happens in other sports too, like with challenging certain calls. But if you're wrong, you lose that challenge. So in spring training, if someone out of the 3, and then of course the umps can challenge their own call too, which you did see. in spring training. Well, they just like weren't 100% sure, and then they second guessed themselves, and they said, I want to look at that and see. As a matter of fact, there's video of an ump, and it was a first base umpire, and it was a close call, and you see him go.
That's funny.
So this is out, this is safe, and he went like this, and he was correct, and it was very, very close.
Yeah.
But that just shows you how difficult it can be. But in spring training, again, the calls, and they only tried it during spring training. You're not going to see this during the regular season, but they would tap their head twice, and if they tap their head twice, then that would automatically call up they would automatically call up the graphic, and it would show if it was in the strike zone or not. Here's
what
what's
if they
crazy.
don't see you tap it and you're just like?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, they're like this. I mean, they're really like tapping their head. But what was crazy though is when I was there watching the games, you saw how close these calls could get to the point, because it will show you, right? There was a couple of calls. I will say it was by the Dodgers correctly calling it less than 0.1 inch.
Wow.
Inches away, meaning that the pitcher or the catcher, whoever was asking for the call, they felt as though it needed to be reversed. Wow. And so when they would get into it, you would see how sometimes, we're talking less than 0.1 inches from the strike zone. And then other calls, of course, are like, over half an inch, or, even more. And you're like, well, obviously that was clearly.
So, but it's only being used, or it
was
being
well.
only
It is still
when in a challenge, not like it's just like, hey, we don't need you ump anymore. Like we've got this.
Well, that was the big question. Was, do we even need umps anymore?
Ooh, I don't like that.
I think we'll keep umps, but there are all of these changes that you could start to see. I would say it's going to end up being more of like a modification.
Because look, it's a game. Like this is. And umps are part of the fun of the game. Like I think it takes away.
100%.
It becomes so mechanical, and that's not what that's not what sports are about.
I will tell you, one of the things that I love about baseball, and I've grown to the change. I'm talking about the clock that they've implemented into.
Oh yeah.
But I was furious.
Clock.
I was furious about the pitch clock at first, because I think one of the beauties of baseball is it's one of the only sports that's not defined by time.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is that games would be, could go on forever and ever, and there's so much downtime, and you were losing a lot. People were losing interest, and I do get that. Obviously they've got to keep interest in the game, but when they started bringing that clock in, I was not happy, because
was that just last season?
No.
A couple seasons ago.
2 or 3 seasons ago.
Okay.
But yeah, you remember. I was not happy about it.
Yeah.
But now I've grown to like it, because every 18 seconds you've got a pitch. And so it does move it. And the average game time went down by 30 minutes.
Wow.
30 minutes.
I do appreciate that, and that doesn't bother me. That doesn't feel like you're taking anything away from
I'm not
the
bothered
game,
by it
honestly.
anymore. I will say I'm not bothered by it anymore. But it was just that, and because at the end of the day, you're still not like for example, you can still have games go into all of these extra innings and just keep going and going. Whereas in like a lot of sports, even overtime is defined by a clock, right? Where it's like you could go to double overtime, and then but it's going to get resolved. Whereas baseball it literally could be infinite. It could just keep going. An example was in the 2018 World Series when the Dodgers were playing the Red Sox. That game went into 17 or 18 innings. It went into the game started at 5 p.m. My director's a huge Dodger fan. It was 2018, right, Adam? Red Sox and Dodgers. I still need more coffee. He's probably looking it up. My brain's still a little fuzzy, but
he'll get to us in a second.
It was 20. Well, no, because 2017 was the Astros. We don't want to talk about that. It was 2018. But what was so crazy about that was the game started at 5 p.m. Pacific, and I think it went into like 1:30 in the morning.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
And of course, remember,
I can't even imagine being there that long.
And remember, that was the game where Max Muncy hit the home run and ended it.
Oh, okay.
And it was talking about being tired.
I remember that. I know. I'm sorry.
Max Muncy ended it, but I literally, let me tell you what I did during that game. Are you ready? So during the entire game, remember, went from 5 p.m. till 1:30. I had a massage appointment at 5 o'clock. So started the game with the massage.
Nice.
Then I was watching after the massage, went to the grocery store to pick up some grocery items. Went and fixed dinner. Was watching the game while doing my grocery shopping. Made dinner, ate dinner, then went out with friends. Had I think we just had a drink or something, and then we were like, this is gonna just keep going. Let's just go. Went home, continued to finish the game at home, and then stayed up and watched the walk off with Max Muncy. And then went to bed.
Did you come into work at 4 a.m?
That was a Friday game.
It was a Friday, okay.
But what was just so crazy was I was able to do all of that during one game.
And
what's crazy, here's what's crazy, because it was almost like a double game, right? The Dodgers, they shut down the concession stands, I think at the middle of the 8th. Either, I think it's like the beginning of the 8th or in the middle of the 8th. Meaning that you almost went a full game after with nothing available to you to buy, to eat or drink.
Yeah.
Right? They reopened the concession stands, I think in the 13th inning.
Oh my God.
And they were serving hot chocolate, and I think they were serving just hot chocolate and some
coffee
and stuff. Yeah, and coffee.
With caffeine in it.
And stuff. They weren't selling alcohol, obviously, but yeah, so it was.
Oh my gosh, that is wild. Can I just point out something that's really also wild to me? That we just spent about 20 minutes talking about baseball.
I can keep talking.
Alex, look.
Oh yeah, there's my tie.
Did you wear the same tie yesterday, or was that a different Dodger tie yesterday?
Oh please, I have two Dodger ties.
How many do you have?
2.
That's just 2?
Just 2.
Well, what are you going to do tomorrow?
I have 6 pairs of Dodger socks, though. 5 or 6 pairs of Dodger socks.
Do they play again tomorrow?
No, because remember, they're going back to LA.
No, I don't remember. But okay, good to know. No, I'm pointing out, I know you could talk about baseball for that long. Are you impressed with me?
I want to make something very clear.
Okay.
I love talking baseball with you.
Obviously. With me.
No, I'm not joking. Here's the reason why. I've seen you come such a long way.
I know.
I mean, when I first started anchoring Sunrise with you, and you were like, "But what's a baseball?"
I did not ever say that. But I would sit there during baseball talk, you and Kevin, I'd just be like twiddling my thumbs.
A home run would happen. She's like, "Touchdown!" And it was that bad. But then, of course, I got to know your kids, and I was just like, your kids were. Eli knew how to talk. They were babies, and I made it. I was like, I'm going to make it my mission to inundate them with baseball. And
it's so funny because any other sport, I'm still just like, fine, whatever. But baseball now, I'm interested. I can talk about the Dodgers with you. I know players' names. I was interested in watching the World Series.
It really does. Once you start to, and it goes back into the whole idea of just we all love stories, right? That's how we get to.
You're right.
But once you, especially with baseball, because they become part of your lives, right? For me, it's like I feel like I hang out with Shohei and Freddie and Mookie and all of them every single night while I'm watching baseball. And you get to hear these stories night after night after night. And then once baseball ends, you go through, it's like you're saying goodbye to your family. And you're like, I won't see you for 3 months.
You need to talk to a therapist
about this. Well, I admit I have a problem. No, but it is so great because you really get to.
Speaking of stories, Freddie Freeman, last year with his son and his family, we were also invested in what was going on, and then he had that incredible World Series run with all those home runs, and so you're right, that is storytelling. It is
because
emotional.
You become emotionally attached to these people.
I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah, but again, we'll talk more baseball coming up next week. We got
to do something else now.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. So remember how a couple weeks ago I was showing you how we can go live from our cell phones. So guess what? We're going to do that right. Oh, shoot. It just.
Oh, no, did it dump you out?
Because
we got to go outside. We're going to take you outside with us. I'm going to do the cut-in for the Golden Empire Gleaners.
And then I'm going to show you.
Adam, once he gets on TVU, can I take off my mic and leave that in here? Yeah? Okay, because
I am live. All right,
Okay.
so we're going to go and switch here. Soon. All right. All right. All right, there we go. So, here we go. So I'm going to walk you out of the studio here. And what we're going to do is, so Maddie is actually going to do this first cut in here. And we're going to, after she takes off, here's another secret. Here's another secret here. So actually what people don't realize is actually we can move this back, and then there's a door here, and that takes us out here. All right, so what you're going to see right now is we're going to go live on the Today Show. We've got a Today Show cut in here coming up, and Maddie is going to anchor that live on kget.com. And what's going to happen is you're going to kind of see the behind-the-scenes look of that before, and it's going to show you kind of the how it looks on live TV. We want to be careful of crossing the street. But what's going to happen is we're going to walk you out here, and then we're going to get ready to go live, and then you're going to see the live cut-in on kget.com that is also going to air on KGET Channel 17. So this is just kind of the behind-the-scenes look here before we go live. So that's exactly... Good morning! So we've got our Gleaners Food Drive happening right now. So this is what it looks like behind the scenes here. So you can see we've got Juan Corona, our photographer.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is a 17 News Break.
Hey, good morning from out here in downtown Bakersfield. I'm Maddie Jansen, and today's 17 News is teaming up with the Golden Empire Gleaners. You can see them behind me here. We are just waiting for you to come on by. We need your help today. We want to restock their shelves at the food bank. We want to fill that truck so full that they have to go unload everything, bring it back so that we can fill it up again. Our neighbors in need, they need us. They need our help. So you can do that today just by dropping off some non-perishable food items. You don't have to go to the store. You can just gather up some things that have been in your pantry for a little while. I know I always have some bags of lentils or beans, and I keep a lot of canned goods on hand so I can make a quick dinner. Drop those off. You can replenish. Our neighbors need our help. This is an ongoing need. We saw over the last few years the need skyrocketing in our community. We all know how expensive grocery prices are. Now imagine if you're on a very fixed, very tight budget, and sometimes these families go without. You can help make them fill the table, fill their pantries. So please come on down today. We're going to be out here all day at Compassion Corner in downtown Bakersfield. We're right across the street from our 17 News studios. We'll be out here until 6:30 this evening collecting those food items. It's so simple. They have a drive-through set up. You don't even have to get out of your car. So please come on down and see us and help us out in the spirit of the Golden Empire. Good.
All right, so we just finished our cut in here.
Can you see my breath?
Yeah, I can see your breath. It's really cold.
It's cold.
So what we're going to do after this is we just continue to do some cut-ins out here. Also, just another reminder that we've got our Gleaners Food Drive happening at Compassion Corner until 6 p.m. tonight. We're asking for non-perishable food items. We're talking about like canned goods, boxes of cereals, maybe like peanut butter and honey and stuff like that. So come on down, and we'll be out here until 6 p.m. Everyone, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow for After Sunrise.